Hello there, and welcome to the long overdue look at a very interesting indie game called Realm Explorer. And before we set off, I must begin by apologizing greatly to not only Matt from Realm Source, but also the everyone else on his team, because they gave us two beta keys for the game quite a while back, perhaps in November sometime. And because I'm a lazy fuck, I haven't been I have been able to record it several times. I just haven't done it. Nonetheless, I have taken the time now to sit down, and I am basically just going to read the questions and answers that we sent back and forth through emails. So, uh, if it sounds a bit weird, then it's basically because I'm just reading more or less exactly what's written on screen. Um, but just as a quick little introduction, in case you have not heard of Realm Explorer, it's sort of similar to Minecraft in the way that you can build and destroy blocks. However, instead of being blocks, they are actually sort of cubes with mass. And instead of just taking away the whole block, you can take away parts of it, add parts of it, and that will also change how that block affects the other blocks next to it and their shape. It's very interesting, but it's also got more of a story and backstory thrown into it, as well as a bit more adventure. Essentially, if you want, although I'm not sure that Realm Source would be too happy about me explaining it this way, you can sort of explain it as Minecraft, but with a better story and better graphics. Okay, so the first little discussion point that we have here is what is sort of the main point of Realm Explorer? What is the goal, or what should you need to do in order to proceed to the next level, if you will? And then we have Matt's reply, which is that the vision for Realm Explorer is to create a game of nearly infinite possibilities. Each realm is dynamically generated and will become a living, breathing world. They've created Realm Explorer as a sandbox that you can explore on your own, together with friends or with other players from around the world who have different motivations. Realm Explorer is not just a game about collecting resources, crafting, and building. We want you to be able to experience the realms you play in on your terms. You could choose to focus on crafting, or you could focus entirely on combat and adventuring. There's no need to hold back your imagination, though. Why not do both? And says they are extremely excited about the potential of the game, and each new update moves them forward towards realizing this vision. Speaking of updates, by the way, I must say that they're doing a very good job with updates. When we first got the beta keys, or alpha keys, sorry, the game was very early alpha, which they definitely advertised and everything, so they did that well. But in the updates that have come out since, I must say that the quality of the game and the playability has improved a lot. Even with some of their smaller updates, it's made big differences. And on the topic of Minecraft, I said, since this is so similar to Minecraft, is it just Minecraft with better graphics, or is there a story, etc.? And he said that they wanted to create a truly dynamic world in every aspect. Not just with making your character look unique or developing skills as you use them, but also to be able to completely shape the world. To be able to flatten land, build towns, cities or kingdoms, mine caves, explore beneath the earth, and so on. An obvious place to start with was a really powerful terrain system. An important distinction between the terrain in Realm Explorer and games like Minecraft is that Realm Explorer uses what is called marching cubes for our terrain. In Minecraft, you either have a cube or you have air. There's no in between. In Realm Explorer, each of our cubes also has volume. This means that the terrain can look extremely organic and natural as we improve our terrain generation algorithms. As a player digs into the terrain, he isn't simply removing a cube, he's actually reducing the volume of the spot he is digging, which deforms the terrain as you would expect. Combined with some special effects like dust, flying dirt, and other debris and particles, and digging into the terrain takes on a completely new feel. The experience comes across as more organic and natural as opposed to moving or stacking blocks, like so many games that simply try to clone the Minecraft experience. Having said that, however, the graphics are nothing like Minecraft. It's not a block world, nor are there block characters. They're developing a significant RPG elements of the game, and there will indeed be a backstory to the universe and NPCs to encounter. And he's saying that Minecraft is a great sandbox game, but consider Realm Explorer to be a fantasy RPG sandbox. We have no desire to clone what's already been done. We want to create a game that's new and hasn't been seen in this way before. Which to me is interesting, because they're taking a lot of the inspiration from Minecraft, such as the building system, albeit they're making quite a lot of changes, and then they're putting their own spin on it. And if the success of Minecraft is anything to go by, then this game could go very, very far. And obviously one of the big questions when buying a game is how much does it cost? And right now the game is on sale for $99 during the alpha period, but prices will continue to change as we move into the beta and eventually final release of the game. We feel it's fair for everyone to get immediate access to the game and get it at a reduced price while many of the features are still being implemented. Once the game is complete later next year, the price will be increased to reflect the amount of work that went into making it. Anyone who buys the game during the alpha phase, which is going on right now by the way, will be able to continue playing into the beta and final releases without needing to make any other purchases. You simply get immediate access to the game at a low price with an understanding that it's not complete yet and that new features will be coming on a regular basis. And quickly, by the way, I must say that they have done a very good job with advertising the fact that this is an early alpha. They're not trying to sell you an incomplete game and telling you that it's finished. They're doing this the right way. They're informing you that it's an early alpha, and they are selling it at a reduced price, which feels very fair to me. And that's worked very successfully with games like Minecraft, which is sort of where this whole, have a start selling your game very early in alpha and sell it at a reduced price. That business model worked very well for Minecraft. So hopefully it'll go just as well for Realm Explorer and a lot of the other indie games that use this business model to get funding in the early stages of development. Also, another big thing is, when will this game be out? When will you be able to spend your hard-earned dollars on a game that's fully working and everything is complete? And right now, the game is available as an alpha release, both on the website realmsource.com and through Dazura. We have a very aggressive patch schedule and have been trying to release at least 2 patches per week through the end of the year. Until the game is done, they'll keep releasing new updates and new content as soon as it becomes available, so that fans of the game get something to look forward to throughout each month. They anticipate reaching a beta stage by early this year, and having the final game out by around winter 2013, which is this year, by the way. So, what genre is Realm Explorer exactly? Is it some sort of pseudo third-person builder, explorer? What is it? And they say that Realm Explorer is a fantasy action sandbox RPG. It's been created from the ground up as a multiplayer experience, but players will be able to enjoy the game solo as well. Anyone who likes action RPGs, sandbox game, crafting, or exploring fantasy worlds will find something to enjoy once the game is complete. Now, this may all sound great, and, it's got this interesting building system, it's got a backstory, it's an RPG, great. But what is it that sets this game apart from other RPG explorer games, such as Minecraft, for example? And Matt replies by saying, I think most of all it's the ability to replay Realm Explorer as a completely different character in a completely different world with your friends, by yourself or with other random players from around the world, and experience the same from nearly unlimited perspectives. I find the idea of helping to shape such a world with one type of character, for example, focusing mainly on crafting and building, and then explore a completely different character, for example, focusing on combat and weapons, to be extremely fascinating. As they continue to add new features and content to the game, the possibilities will only continue to increase. Now, how expansive is the universe or the backstory of this game? Why are you in this world and why are you doing what you do? And Realm Explorer takes place in the fantasy Nostaria universe. That's Gnostaria. Nostaria is both the fictional game world as well as the name of another game that we were developing for a number of years. The Nostaria game is on hiatus while we focus our attention on Realm Explorer, but the essence of Nostaria will certainly be alive in this game. We have a deeply developed game lore with several layers for interested players to discover. Not everything is necessarily as it appears to be on the surface. Politics, religion, war, peace, conflict, mythology, magic, morality, trade, and culture will all be explored as they apply to this unique fantasy setting. So, if you have a deep fascination with lore or backstory in games, then he says that those who dig deep enough will definitely uncover some unexpected secrets about the world, which is great because if you want to, you can spend all night reading about the backstory of the game and the mechanics, so you can really get a feel for why you're in this world and why you're doing what you do. Which is always nice to know, I feel, in a game. It definitely helps with the immersion. So, how will the different mechanics work, such as gaming, crafting? Is it, going to be just your standard RPG mechanics? Or is there going to be something special? And this really is a big question because there are so many different mechanics to consider in this game. For example, the realms themselves are completely dynamically generated. This means that everything from the terrain to the inhabitants and enemies of the world will be different for each realm. Even if you've created an extremely powerful and advanced character in one realm, you may find that playing in another realm may prove to be more challenging. One realm may have easy access to metal ores and other resources, while another may require you to adventure out into the world or set up an advanced mining operation to get the resources you want. Characters are extremely versatile and have all of the common attributes you would expect in a role-playing game. Stats such as strength, dexterity, etc. These stats play a role in how effective your skills and other actions you perform are. Skills such as blacksmithing, sewing, mining, edge weapon combat, shield use, and others. Skills determine how well you can craft items and how well you can use them. Now, this game also has a completely visual inventory including worn belt packs, backpacks, and quivers. Nearly everything your character wears can be seen in the game world by other players. Wearing belt packs and backpacks isn't just for show either. They expand your available inventory slots so you can carry more gear. They want players to be able to choose the type of character that they play. If you want to live in a town and become the best blacksmith you can be, or sew fancy clothing, you should be able to do so without ever wielding a weapon. If you want to mine for resources, shape and clear the land, and build buildings, the terrain and all of the objects in the world can be transformed from your actions. If you want to take up arms and go on adventures, fighting monsters and exploring caves and dungeons, we're working to make this a fun experience for you also. They're really trying to cater for everyone here, which is good, and there's no real right way to play Realm Explorer. You're free to play the type of character you like. We're really excited to see the type of characters people will come up with as well. Now, the fact that, in reference to Minecraft, the fact that one of the things that made it so popular is that you could do whatever you want. You didn't have to go around slaying monsters. You could just build and build and build if all you wanted. If you could care less about building, you could go around slaying monsters. You could play multiplayer. You could just play it how you wanted. And there's the same sort of feeling with this game, which should mean that it suits a lot of the player base that exists in this world. And hopefully that should mean that a lot of people will start playing this game and enjoying it. Because really, you don't have to have a special interest in one certain thing in order to be able to enjoy this. And also, crafting is a very big thing in this game. There are 4 main components of crafting. 1. Your character's crafting skill. 2. The components required to craft the item you want to make. 3. Craft tools that exist in your inventory. And 4. Craft stations that exist out in the game world. As you perform different actions in the world, such as crafting items, you automatically improve your related skills. For example, if you craft some raw iron into iron ingots, you will improve your blacksmithing skill. If you use a fishing pole to catch a fish, you will improve your fishing skill, and so on. Nearly every item in the world will be craftable, and in order to craft, you will need crafting components that the item requires. For example, to make a leather backpack, you will need some leather, thread, and leather strips. Once you craft the backpack, the raw components will be consumed, and you will have the new item in their place. This concept is further expanded on with the introduction of craft tools. Craft tools are items that you keep in your inventory and enable you to craft more advanced items. Craft tools are not consumed when you craft an item. You must simply have them in your inventory, and thus taking up an inventory slot, to give you access to these more advanced items. Craft tools include hammers, sewing needles, shears, and scissors, among others. Finally, there are craft stations. Craft stations include stationary objects that you can place in the world, such as anvils, forges, spinning wheels, looms, and workbenches. Standing nearby a craft station will further enable the crafting of additional items. The combination of your character's crafting skill, the raw components you have in your inventory, craft tools you're carrying in your inventory, and the nearby craft stations that are in the world will all combine to determine what items you can attempt to craft. There are nearly 200 items in-game, with several hundred more under development. I'm really pleased with how all of these areas of the game have turned out so far. I can't wait until we get some of the more features we've planned for into the player's hands. Our full combat implementation is in development, as well as several other exciting new things. So clearly, crafting is a very, very big thing in this game. Which is good, because, for those people that want to explore the island, the world, dungeons, and try and find those rare special materials that you need to craft maybe a new backpack, a quiver, etc., then this really gives a good incentive to those players to go out and explore the world, which could also lead to some interesting teamwork, for example, with your friends, if maybe you stumble upon a big boss that you need to defeat in order to reach a special item, maybe. But how do you build and construct things, which is another very big focus of this game? And you can build by collecting terrain resources such as dirt, grass, sandstone, and gravel, and so on, or by crafting construction materials such as bricks, plaster, wood floors, and so on. The terrain in Realm Explorer is fully deformable by the players. You can clear and flatten land, dig tunnels, and construct roads and other structures. The building controls work by dragging what tool or weapon / building material you want to use down to a slot on your action bar. You can then select which slot you wish to use, which will enable different parts of the user interface. When digging or mining or building a transparent cube, it will appear on the screen to show you where you are going to be modifying the terrain. You then simply press the left mouse button and your character will begin building or digging where you see the cube. So the cube is effectively like a 3D crosshair that you have around the area where you're either going to build or destroy. The transparent cube is just a guide to help indicate where you will be building. The actual terrain will expand from an empty spot of air to a full mound of dirt, and all of the stages in between as you continue to pour more material into it. Where and what you build is totally up to your imagination. They've already been blown away by some of the incredible structures players have built in Realm Explorer, and they can't wait to see what people can do in the future. So, this all sounds very promising, if you ask me. It certainly sounds like they know where they're going with this game. They know what they want to do, they know what their objectives are, which is very good, because it shows a lot of determination by the developers. And so hopefully, come winter this year, we should have the full version of Realm Explorer released, and we will all have a pretty awesome game to enjoy. So, I thank you for listening and watching to this preview of Realm Explorer. Once again, I apologize to Realm Source for delaying this so much, and I apologize for some of my stuttering, etc. After all, I don't do this all that much. And thank you, have a good day, good night. It's your time somewhere, hopefully.